What's up, gamers? Aaron Shack here with a spoiler-free, no cheats, things that Starfield does not tell you about the game. I'm here to teach you some basic onboarding stuff that will get rid of some of your early game frustrations and answer some questions you might have without spoiling any of the story or any other elements. I want to give you some tips that can help you in the long run. One thing you should know to defeat the over-encumbered problem in Starfield, which is something I struggled with early on in my playthrough, is to go into your inventory and figure out which guns, which weapons you want to prioritize. You really shouldn't be running around with, 10 or 20 different weapons. I've kind of got mine down to a very base amount of a couple of weapons that I use on a regular basis, things that I believe deal the most damage. I only carry around my singular space outfit, maybe one or two backpacks if I want certain abilities from one, like the chameleon perk to turn invisible. Same with helmets. I try not to carry around too many helmets, and I do love to have different fashion styles depending on what location I'm at, but I don't like to carry a lot of that on my character. As well as stuff like mines and grenades, I keep it down to a very base amount of grenades that I keep on my person so that I don't have so much mass. The other thing that's going to add up really quick is going to be all of the aid stuff, whether it's food or whatever. I ditch most of this stuff except for med packs, and I'll just run around with all my med packs. Same with notes. You want to check in and make sure that you're not carrying a bunch of books or a bunch of resources on your character. Now, what you can do about that is find the cargo hold on your ship. You need to locate this immediately, and it's always somewhere near the cockpit. In this ship, it happens to be right here next to the cockpit. And what I'll do here is I'll press LB to go into my inventory, and then I can simply just start transferring over. And if the container hits max capacity like mine, then what you need to do is probably start selling the stuff that's located on your ship. Another spot that you have to store things is the captain's locker, which is also in the cockpit. And this one only has 40 mass, so it's not very much. But the other big thing that you can do is upgrade your cargo hold. So mine has been significantly upgraded. Mine holds 1369 mass. And so I can upgrade my ship and add cargo onto it to be able to make that storage space even bigger. Another thing that you can do is you can just steal ships. So I had the basic Frontier ship for a while, which doesn't have a large cargo capacity or a lot of crew. It's a great all-around ship. But I stole this one from the Crimson Fleet, and this one has a decent amount of cargo capacity. It's a much bigger ship. I could see how this could be expanded. It has a larger crew. And same with this one. This was bounty hunters that came after me as a part of one of my character perks that I chose. And so you can definitely find bigger and better ships out in the world, but you want to make sure that you have that piloting skill so that you can utilize stuff like that. So another thing you can do is find the ship services, which are on pretty much every one of the major cities. You can view or modify ships. You can figure out what ships are on sale.
I'm sure you can find something.
And you can figure out here which ones have larger cargo capacity, or if you're looking for stuff like a bigger crew, like being able to have 5 crewmates on, that could be very useful. Now, obviously, you're probably not going to have big funds to spend, but what you can do from the beginning is take some bounties, get some missions done, then look at your ship, either your base Frontier, which, doesn't hold a whole lot of cargo, but with the Razor Leaf or the Mantis ship, which I got from the Secret Outpost note, which is found during the main Constellation quest on some dead pirates, you will discover the Mantis's secret lair, and you will find this ship. Now, I've put some storage containers here on the right side, and then I put some on the left side as well. And you have to be careful because this will weigh down your ship a little bit. But yeah, you can simply just look at these. This one holds 300, this one holds 225. This one holds 300. And you can just sort of, I had to take apart my ship, kind of like a Lego set. And I had to go, okay, where do I want to put things? And I started adding habitats so I could have all sorts of, you know, extra crew members and research tables and stuff like that. A kitchen, all that stuff built into the ship. So I actually upgraded the Mantis ship and turned this into a massive triple-decker ship, but I also added cargo holds so that I could store a lot more cargo, because I do love to loot stuff. So I've got 1369 cargo on the Razor Leaf. Now, there are other things you can do besides that. Some things you can do is go into your skill tree and obviously go for the weightlifting perk. Increasing your total carrying capacity can be really good. I've only done this once, so I'm only at rank 1 of 4. I've also upgraded my fitness so I can sprint further, have more oxygen available. That's really helped when I'm navigating planets and stuff like that. Also, having the piloting skill is really good for maneuverability, but also being able to fly higher class ships, which bigger ships, more guns, all these various perks, you will want to be able to fly those class B and C ships. So I've been speccing pretty hard into the tech tree. That's just been a personal choice. So upgrading your fitness and your weightlifting can be key. Your companion can also store items for you, but you do have to note that that is limited.
Yes,
you can trade gear with
you
whichever
give me.
companion is with you. And see, as we can see here, she can store up to 135 mass. So I usually give her some weapons that I think that she can use, and I'll have her hold on to any extra gear while I'm out scavenging stuff, when I'm doing a big scavenging run. Then I'll come back to a port like New Atlantis and either sell this stuff or drop it off at the Constellation Lodge, which is going to be the best place early in the game to sort out the over-encumbering issue. So the Constellation Lodge is something you unlock early in the main campaign. This is not a spoiler, but there are a couple of things that you can use here. If you turn right and go down into the basement, you have the research table, you have all the crafting tables in the game, and of course the kitchen, the cooking station. So you have all those, which, you know, you can upgrade your ship later to have all those tables at your beck and call. But the other thing that's most important is when they give you a tour of the premises, they will walk you over to your bedroom, which is right here. And you will have a safe here with unlimited storage. So this is where I'm the pack rat and I just start storing every cool thing. I love to collect like one of every piece of armor, one of every weapon, and keep some of the best stuff for myself. I'll pass stuff on to characters and let them use it, but this is the easiest way to beat the over-encumbered problem, is to just dump a lot of that here, and then try not to carry a lot of stuff on your person when you're out questing. Because you want to be able to sprint at full speed, you want to be able to jump and use your jetpack, and if you do that too much, you're going to build up your CO2 meter, which will start, you know, taking away your health, which could be a really bad thing as well. Other things you can do is use the scanner, quickly target somewhere that you want to fast travel to. If you want to get back to your ship, or if you want to get to a certain district. If you're within 500 meters of your ship, you can go to the ship menu here. You can press X to open up the cargo hold, and you can now take any items that you have stored in your ship's cargo hold, as long as you were within 500 meters of your ship, which is actually pretty generous. Like, sometimes when you're in a port or exploring a planet and you're not that far away, you can quickly transfer stuff.
When you have a moment.
The next detail I have involves flying from one location to another. The game is pretty menu heavy, and I find that to be kind of destroying a little bit of the immersion when you're flying from planet to planet, station to station, to moons, all these various things. I want the flight simulation to sort of remain intact. And so if you have a destination marked on your map, a quest or something like that, you can simply pull up the scanner, press A, and it brings up this little X button. Now you can look at other places within the system by pressing LB, bringing up the scanner, press A, hold X to travel to those locations. It can be a mission that you have highlighted, or you've set a route on your nav map, or you can just look around and see what planets, what moons are nearby, and you can instantly fly to them. So there's a lot of value in making sure that you're using your scanner, whether you're in space or on the ground. You can get a lot of information that way. So I can fly over Pontum, which is one of the moons, press A, hold X while I have the scanner out. This makes space travel more seamless. You're not going into the nav menus as much and jumping from here to there. It makes it really nice and seamless. And then of course using these terminals here is a quick way to sell stuff to the Trade Authority. Note that if you're selling contraband, you're going to have to sell it to the clerk at the Trade Authority proper. But I do have some other tips about selling contraband because the Trade Authority does not offer the highest rates. I will show you how to sell some of that to the highest bidder. So for contraband, the Alpha Centauri system, which is near the Sol system and the Wolf system, this is where Jemison is, this is where New Atlantis is. If you head over here to the Wolf system and simply fly over to Chthoniya here, you can set course for that. Jump to it.
Well, you didn't put us into a planet, so we must be in the right place.
There's this space station called the Den. And this is a great place to get rid of your contraband. So the way to dock to stuff is very similar to how we're going to fly around to different locations within a system. We can simply press LB to pull up the scanner. We can hail,
Welcome to the den. If you have business, feel free
which
to
often
land.
will give you permission to land, and then hold X to dock.
Ship is now docked. Perfect.
And of course, you're going to want to check in with ship
Anything I can help you
services
with?
at every
Okay, no
location because they will have different parts available and they will have different ships available as well. So you can sort of see what kind of variations of ships that you can buy.
I really did think this place
And you can go
was
right
good
here
to see
to the
you.
Trade Authority and you can sell your contraband. The thing about this is that you do not get scanned when you are coming to the den like you do with other planets. So you have the advantage here. Another tip that I have that kind of adds to the immersion is that if you simply hold B while you're flying your ship through space, you'll just get out of the cockpit and you can kind of just, you know, look around as you travel slowly through space here. Another thing you should know is that having good crew employed on your ship can boost your skills. So as you can see on the tech tree here, I'm pretty much level 1 or level 2 in a lot of these skills here. And what's unique about that is that when I go over to the ship here and I press Y to look at my crew, I can see that I have Barrett, Sarah Morgan, and Vasco employed. And basically, Barrett has more skill in starship engineering, particle beam weapon systems, Sarah Morgan has more skill in astrodynamics, and Vasco has more skill in shield systems and EM weapon systems than I do. These members of my crew can make up for my shortcomings and as I level up my character, I may match some of these skills, and I will need to look for other people to sort of compensate for the skills I don't have. Maybe I need particle beams later on, and I just haven't invested that far into the tree. You'll notice that these are highlighted, letting you know like which ones are being used and the benefits that you're immediately using on your ship. Of course, you can also assign people to outposts, and sort of the same thing applies. You want to have good people working for you. Another thing the game doesn't tell you is that you can sort of have like essentially a fashion when you're in settlements. So here you can press RB to show Spacesuit in settlements or hide Spacesuit in settlements. So I chose to hide the Spacesuit, and I also did the same thing on my helmet. You can choose to not wear your helmet when you're in breathable areas, and automatically your backpack doesn't show up if you're not wearing your spacesuit or using your booster. So basically, when I'm in my ship, I'll be wearing my spacesuit. When I'm on planets where I can't breathe the natural air, then I will be in my spacesuit. But when I show up on a settlement like this, it's automatically taking off my spacesuit for me and showing me, you know, my apparel that I'm wearing under that. So I kind of have my like walking around town clothes. So for a lot of you where fashion and vanity matter to you, the game has this function in there. Another thing you should do is pause the game, pause it again to open up the system settings, and use the photo mode in game, because taking screenshots using the photo mode, you will see these show up during the load screens, and you will have memories of all your travels, all the different ships and planets that you've been to, all the funny moments you've had or confrontations you've gotten into. I highly recommend using photo mode. It's really great having a catalog of all your memories, and it's such a gorgeous game that literally every scene that I've photographed looks like something that should be on the cover of like a science fiction magazine. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Another thing you should do is rest in game for at least an hour and drink Tranquilitea. It gives you an XP boost, and you get the well rested perk. Pull up the pause menu here, go to status with Y, and you'll see that you're getting a 10% XP gain. You will also get additional XP for drinking Tranquilitea. So definitely, if you find that or craft it, it's definitely useful to you. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. I hope you found this spoiler-free, no cheats, easy tutorial for learning some of the things that Starfield does not teach you, and hopefully these tricks make your onboarding experience easier and more fun.